Hello, welcome to episode number 3 of my Gods of Guitar series, and today we're going to be looking at the iconic, legendary, weird Frank Zappa. Now, Frank Zappa to me is a god of guitar. I know some people don't like his music, and really, if you feel that way, go listen to it. Actually sit down, force yourself to listen to it, because a lot of it is absolutely gold once you do. I don't think there's a more distinctive guitar player in the world than Frank Zappa at his craft, who almost makes it look effortless. One of the first guitar shredders you can really talk about. Had some great guitar solos, especially live on some songs like My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. Had a great guitar solo in it. Inca Rhodes is a great guitar solo. Montana has one. I'm the Slime has one. Oh man, then you go into a lot of his more commercial stuff like Black Napkins #1, or Black Napkins the song, which is amazing to listen to. Peaches and Regalia is another good one. Willie the Pimp has a good guitar solo in it. That entire Joe's Garage album is just top to bottom great Zappa. Other stuff later on, did 3 albums. Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar Again, and Son of Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. Just amazing guitar solos from Zappa. But I don't think it's just the solos that make Zappa an absolutely fantastic guitar player. It's also the rhythms and the styles that Frank Zappa did. He didn't stick to just one genre. Like you hear a lot of these shredders, most of them have stuck to the rock or heavy metal genre. Zappa's kind of been all over the place. Instrumental music, more orchestra-driven music. Hell, to all the Cult of Blackmore, that's the people I call them, the Malmsteens and that worship Ritchie Blackmore as being this great guitar god. To me, Frank Zappa is a better guitar player than Ritchie Blackmore and could do more than Ritchie Blackmore. He is really the musician's musician. A guy who was in it just for the music, wasn't in it really necessarily for the fame, the fortune, the drugs, the women. Well, Frank, maybe the women, but... And really, over the years, reinvented his sound as the decades went on. And like I said, he had one of the first double albums, Freak Out, which was beaten out by Blonde on Blonde by Dylan by about a couple weeks. But the first rock one, and there is some great stuff on there. Trouble Every Day, Who Are the Brain Police, Hungry Freak's Daddy, Son of the Monster Magnet, and really to me, a great song, Motherly Love. And he even went on interviews saying the only reason that they ever called the band the Mother of Invention was because the record label wouldn't sign them with the name The Mothers, due to the fact the term motherfucker. And anyone who knows Zappa, he really didn't care too much. As the older he got, the more he grew disdain for the music industry and really what it became. But looking back at Zappa as just flat-out guitar playing, there's another reason I think Zappa is a god of guitar, is because the fact he even said in interviews, quite honestly, every concert he ever performed, each one was different, and that's maybe why his bootlegged album sold so well, because every concert was different. You never got the same solo, because Frank said he came out there, he had a rhythm around it, but really on guitar when he soloed and stuff, he never really was playing the same thing over and over again. He said that just get boring after a while. Why do that? After a fan's seen it once, they're like, oh, okay, we've seen it, we'll just go out and not see it anymore. I've already seen that. But by always doing that, you're always fresh to people. Now, also another reason Frank Zappa is a god of guitar. 100%, I don't think there's a better. Malmsteen, Blackmore, Page, Vi Satriani, all these great, Gilbert, all these great guitar legends should really be writing checks to the Frank Zappa. Because this guy, man, the shit he could do on guitar, and almost in a way, even instrumentally, you just hear him just going off, playing it, shredding at times. He gave us the legendary Steve Vai, who some might argue whether or not he would have actually made it on his own. Probably would have. But he gave us Steve Vai at times, where he'd have guitar battles with Steve Vai, and Frank Zappa was a hell of a guitar player, well ahead of his time compared to a lot of his predecessors in the genres that he was in. He never really thought of himself as a rock and roll guy. He said, really, I'm not. I'm just me. Like, I'm not out there to be commercial. I'm not out there to play pop music. He was playing stuff that was really complex. And I've heard people say this, that the best drummers in the world were always in Frank Zappa's band. Terry Bozzio is in there. I know there's a couple more, but Terry Bozzio is the one that sticks out to me. Frank always had the best musicians in his band. And it showed live, and it's why they could do a lot of what he was doing. But his guitar playing is what set them apart. Stuff like Chunga's Revenge, Wet T-Shirt Night, the Illinois Enema Bandit is another one that's in there. I'm the Slime, Montana, Muffin Man. Frank Zappa, to me, is solos and songs that just absolutely set the bar for just complexity out there, but just the right enough. And I don't think there is a musician or anything with a more dedicated fan base than Frank Zappa. Now, in the 80s, he got a lot more political in a lot of stuff, or 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And even look at a lot of those albums' name titles, and he was really into that raunch and roll, sex sells kind of thing. He really was. If you look at a lot of them, the Illinois Enema State Bandit is one. Even back to 73 with Dirty Love, I'm the Slime. And then you get into stuff on Joe's Garage like Why Does It Hurt When I Pee, Jewish Princess, Bobby Brown Goes Down, Disco Boy, End Up Working in a Gas Station. Then you Cruise Slut from Joe's Garage as well is another, Catholic Girls. He really focused a lot on the sex side of everything, but the music was so good. And Steve Vai told this story about how Frank would try out amps, and he'd phone up the companies and say, this is what's wrong with your amp. And he said he tried it once, and the guitar or the amp company's like, who the fuck are you? Pretty much hung up the phone on him. That's how much they respected Frank Zappa. Now, Frank Zappa got a guitar, absolutely one of the greatest and most underrated guitar players. You always see these lists, they always come out, Eddie Van Halen, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, Randy Rhoads, Yngwie Malmsteen, all these great players. But to me, Frank Zappa, there's only one. And I think anybody who played with him would say that. There's only one Frank Zappa. A guy that was such a pioneer in the avant-garde music, even into the rock and roll of the 1970s. Like the fact, Zoodle Lures, to me, you go from Overnight Sensation apostrophe into Zoodle Lures. That's really showing Frank could actually break through some mainstream stuff with some absolutely fantastic records. Shake Your Booty's in there. Even up to Tinseltown Rebellion, where Frank pretty much talked out against the whole 80s movement of the plastic groups and leather groups, and he said the groups that look real queer, and really talked out about the music industry. And really, it's a testament to Frank, and it's a video I've wanted to do for a long time. This is, to me, one of my favorite guitar players, and really, truthfully, go out and listen to Frank Zappa. Even if you have to dig through a bunch of albums to really find one you like, I think there's a little bit in there for everybody, because he's an absolute treasure to listen to. Once you get it, it's one of those you can't stop listening. You have to keep listening. It's like, once it clicked for me, I'm like, I can't get enough of this guy. But anyway, that's my video here. Gods of Guitar episode number 3. What is your opinion of Frank Zappa? Once again, be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe down below. This is me signing out. Peace.